1977 was the year disco ruled the world. From glittering dance floors in New York to neon-lit clubs in Europe, the sound was everywhere. Bold, infectious, and unstoppable. These are 10 unforgettable disco hits that made 1977 legendary. Number 10, Stayin' Alive, Bee Gees. Few songs capture the essence of disco, and the late 70s better than this one. From the very first strut of that guitar riff, Stayin' Alive became more than a track. The song stood as a statement of resilience, style, and groove. Recorded at France's Chateau d'Hérouville and later polished in Miami, the Bee Gees built it layer by layer. Barry Gibb's falsetto soared above a relentless groove, while the drum track was famously looped from Night Fever, giving it that hypnotic, unstoppable pulse. And then came Saturday Night Fever. Paired with John Travolta's iconic sidewalk strut, the song didn't just top charts, it became the image of disco's peak. By 1978, it was blasting from every jukebox, radio, and roller rink, forever tied to the golden age of the dance floor. Number 9, I Feel Love, Donna Summer. This was the sound that changed everything. Built on Giorgio Moroder's pulsating synths and Donna Summer's ethereal vocals, I Feel Love pushed disco into the future. Recorded at Musicland Studios in Munich, the track broke with tradition. No strings, no horns, no live rhythm section. Instead, every beat came from sequencers and Moog synthesizers, locking into a hypnotic groove that felt otherworldly in 1977. What made it revolutionary was its simplicity, a relentless electronic pulse carrying Summer's voice into uncharted territory. Clubs from New York to Berlin embraced it instantly, and producers from Bowie to Brian Eno hailed it as the sound of the next decade. By the time the song topped charts worldwide, it wasn't just disco anymore. It was the blueprint for modern electronic music. Number 8, Disco Inferno, the Trammps. No song captured the heat of the disco floor quite like this one. From the moment the horns blaze in, Disco Inferno feels like pure ignition, built to set a club on fire. Originally released in 1976, the song found new life the following year when it was featured on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. That placement turned it from a dance floor favorite into a global phenomenon, spreading the sound of Philadelphia soul-infused disco far beyond its roots. The Trammps recorded it at Sigma Sound Studios, with producer Norman Harris leaning into layered percussion and a wall of brass that gave the track its explosive energy. Combined with Jimmy Ellis's powerhouse vocals, it became irresistible, a track that demanded bodies on the floor. Number 7, More Than a Woman, Bee Gees. Soft, shimmering, and endlessly romantic, this was the Bee Gees showing their gentler side in the middle of disco's high-voltage storm. Written specifically for the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, the song was recorded at Chateau d'Hérouville in France, where the group crafted a smooth blend of falsetto harmonies and flowing string arrangements. Unlike the harder-driving hits from the album, this track leaned on tenderness, carried by Barry, Robin, and Maurice's voices woven seamlessly together. It wasn't released as a single in the US, yet its placement in the film cemented its legacy. On screen, it played during one of the movie's most intimate dance sequences, becoming inseparable from the film's story of connection and desire. Number 6. Don't Leave Me This Way, Thelma Houston. Few disco tracks carried as much raw emotion as this one. From the first line, Thelma Houston's voice filled every corner of the room, turning heartbreak into something you could dance through.
Please, please, don't leave me this way.
Originally recorded by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Houston's version transformed the song entirely. Produced at Motown's studios in Los Angeles, it stripped away the Philadelphia soul polish and put her fiery vocals front and center, backed by a tighter, more urgent groove. The track built like a storm, verses simmering with tension before erupting into a chorus that demanded release. On the dance floor, it was irresistible. On the charts, it reached number 1 in the US, making Houston the first female artist from Motown to win a Grammy in the Best Female R&B Vocal category.
Please don't you leave me, baby. You see, I feel like...
In a year dominated by slick production and movie soundtracks, Don't Leave Me This Way stood out for its sheer vocal power, a disco anthem carried by one unforgettable performance.
Leave me this way. I can't see.
We're halfway through the list, and 1977 is already glowing back to life, from the pulse of Donna's Summer to the fire of the Trammps. But now, I want to hear from you. Which disco hit from that year brings back the biggest memory for you? Or maybe there's one we haven't mentioned yet that deserves a spot on this list. Drop your favorite 1977 disco track or memory in the comments. I'll be reading them all.
No, baby, don't you leave me this way.
Number 5. Boogie Nights, Heatwave.
Get that groove, let it take you higher.
This track was disco at its slickest, polished, funky, and impossible to resist. With its shimmering keys, tight rhythm section, and soaring falsetto, Boogie Nights felt like a party bottled into 4 minutes. Written by band member Rod Temperton, who would later pen hits for Michael Jackson, the song was recorded in London with producer Barry Blue. It was one of the few disco anthems to come out of the UK scene, yet it sounded right at home alongside America's biggest club hits. What set it apart was its precision. Every instrument locked perfectly into place, from the sharp guitar chops to the fluid bass lines that never stopped moving. Add in Johnny Wilder Jr.'s smooth vocal delivery, and it was the definition of disco sophistication.
Set this place on fire, dance with the boogie guitar.
Boogie Nights became Heatwave's breakthrough single, climbing into the top 10 in both the US and the UK. Proof that disco wasn't just an American phenomenon, but a global one. Number 4. Got to Give It Up, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye wasn't supposed to make a disco record, but when he finally did, he turned the dance floor into his playground.
Everybody's screaming, this is such a groovy place.
Got to Give It Up began as a tongue-in-cheek experiment, recorded during a late-night jam session in Los Angeles. Instead of his usual lush soul arrangements, Gaye built it around hand claps, chatter, and a loose groove that sounded like you just walked into a house party already in full swing. What made it irresistible was its casual feel. Marvin sang with a wink, sliding between falsetto and playful ad-libs while the bass line bounced underneath. It wasn't calculated like many disco productions of the era. It felt spontaneous, alive, and human.
I wanna know what's happening.
Released as a single in 1977, it shot to number 1 and proved Marvin could master disco without losing his soul. Gotta Give It Up wasn't just a hit. It was proof that even the smoothest crooner could get down under the mirror ball. Number 3, Keep It Comin' Love, KC and the Sunshine Band. No one delivered playful disco quite like KC and the Sunshine Band, and Keep It Comin' Love was them at their most cheeky. Driven by a steady bass line and bright horn stabs, it was built to keep people moving long after the lights should have gone out. Recorded at TK Studios in Miami, the track carried that unmistakable Florida disco flavor. Slick, funky, and loaded with energy. Harry Wayne Casey's laid-back vocal delivery kept the verses smooth, while the chorus lifted into a chant that was impossible not to sing along with. Lyrically, it walked the line between innocent and suggestive, and that was part of its charm. On the radio, it sounded harmless enough. In the clubs, it was a wink and a nod that made dancers smile as much as it made them sweat. Number 2, Dance, 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 Chic. Before Le Freak and Good Times made them legends, Chic burst onto the scene with this track, a disco groove as sharp as it was stylish. Built on Nile Rodgers' clean rhythmic guitar and Bernard Edwards' deep rolling bass, the song wasted no time locking into a rhythm that felt effortless yet irresistible. The title's playful "Yo-sa, yo-sa, yo-sa" hook added a sense of fun, while the sleek production hinted at the precision that would become Chic's signature. Recorded in New York City, it quickly found its way into clubs and onto radio playlists, standing out in a year already overflowing with disco hits. Rodgers and Edwards weren't just writing dance music, they were crafting the blueprint for an entire movement. Number 1, Best of My Love, The Emotions. If disco was about joy, no song captured it more warmly than Best of My Love. Bright, soulful, and irresistibly upbeat, it wrapped the dance floor in pure positivity. Produced and co-written by Maurice White of Earth, Wind & Fire, the track blended disco rhythms with gospel-inspired harmonies, giving it both groove and heart. Recorded in Los Angeles, it featured a crisp rhythm guitar, sweeping strings, and the Emotions' flawless vocals soaring over the top. What made it stand out was its balance. Unlike the darker, heavier disco beats dominating clubs, this one felt light and uplifting. The kind of song that could play at a party, on the radio, or even a wedding reception, and still feel just right. Best of My Love climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, won a Grammy, and has remained a staple ever since. A reminder that disco wasn't just about the night, but about celebrating life itself.